We're now live, Chair.
Thank you. I'll ask each person present to confirm that they can hear and be heard, and where practicable, please also have your video switched on. We have the following members of the forum. Alison Banner is going to be slightly late, which is why, as Vice Chair, I will be chairing the meeting this morning. Beverly Blower.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Beverly Blower, I can see and hear you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dan Breary, we've had apologies from, I believe. Alex Davis.
Morning. Yes, I can see and hear.
Thank you, Alex. Paul Deneen.
Yes, same. I can see and hear. Thank you.
Thank you. Nikki Emmett.
Morning. I can see and hear.
Thank you, Nikki. Richard Foster.
Good morning. Yes, I can see and hear.
Thank you, Richard. Nikki Gilbert.
Yes, I can see and hear. Thank you.
Thank you. Andy Gosling, I believe we've had apologies from. Georgie Griffin, I think we've had apologies from, but I believe there's a sub who is David Willis. David, can you hear us?
Yes, good morning. I can see and hear. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Edward Gwilym. Not at this point. Sue Jenkins. I can see and hear. Tim Knapp. Chris Lewandowski.
I can both see and hear you all.
Thank you very much. Sian Lines.
I'm here on behalf of Sian Lines, Gemma Martin from the diocese, and I can see and hear.
Thank you very much and good morning. Rose Lloyd.
Good morning. I can see and hear.
Thank you. I believe we've had apologies from Hayley Manns and Sheila Taylor. Cathy Weston. No, and an addition to the list who was not on the original was Ros Pether. Ros, can you see and hear us?
I can see and hear, thank you.
Thank you very much. And officers that may be in attendance, Jen Priest.
Yes, I can see and hear you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Councillor Powell.
Morning, Chair. Yes, see and hear, and Ivan is fine. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hilary Jones.
Yes, I can see and hear. I apologise, I can't turn my video on.
Okay, thanks, Hilary. Liz Farr.
Good morning, everyone. I can see and hear.
Thank you. Louise Tanner.
Good morning, everybody. I can see and hear. Thank you.
Thank you. Wendy Pickering.
Yes, good morning. I can see and hear. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ruth Griffiths.
Good morning. Yes, I can see and hear.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. The agenda papers and other relevant information for this meeting are available for public viewing on the Herefordshire Council website. The Council is streaming this meeting live on the Herefordshire Council YouTube channel, and a recording will be available via the Council's website shortly after the meeting has concluded. Can I ask you, as usual, to raise your hand icon to indicate that you wish to speak? Please remember to lower your hand again after you have spoken. Where forum members are required to vote on an item, we'll conduct an electronic vote. If there are problems with the electronic vote, I'll ask each member in turn to indicate verbally if they are for, against, or abstaining. If a forum member hasn't been present for the whole of the discussion on an item due to technical failure, they should not vote on that item. Are there any questions before we continue? Okay, thank you. So item 1 on the agenda is to receive apologies for absence. Could the clerk please confirm the apologies that we've received?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, we've received apologies from members Dan Breary, Andy Gosling, Georgie Griffin, Hayley Manns and Sheila Taylor. And then from officers, we've had apologies from Rachel Hart.
Thank you, Clerk. And the second item to receive any details of members nominated to attend the meeting in the place of the member of the forum. Are there any name substitutes this morning?
Yes, Clerk, we've got David Willis on behalf of Georgie Griffin, and also we have Gemma Martin on behalf of Sian Lines.
Thank you. Item number 3, to receive any declarations of interest by members in respect of items on the agenda. Are there any declarations of interest this morning? Can't see any hands, Clerk.
No hands that I can see.
Thank you. Which brings us to the minutes of the meeting held on the 12th of April 2024 to approve and sign the minutes. Are there any matters arising not dealt with elsewhere on the agenda?
Again, no can see no hands there, Chair.
Okay. In that case, Clerk, could we please bring up the voting screen? If you were not present at the last meeting, you should select the abstention option at the vote. If we could vote now, please. If anybody can't see the voting screen, could you please raise your hands?
Just waiting for a couple more there, chairs. But however, it does look like everyone is in favour. So if you're happy, we can just approve those and move on.
I'm happy to approve those. Thank you, Clerk, and thank you for your participation. Item 4.1. Before we move on to the substantive item on the agenda for this morning, I'd like to formally welcome our new finance colleagues, who are Ruth Griffiths and Wendy Pickering. Ruth, Wendy, I know you've prepared a few words for the forum, so perhaps you'd like to take this opportunity to introduce yourselves to the rest of forum this morning.
Hello, hi, I'm Wendy Pickering. I'm the Strategic Finance Manager for Herefordshire. So I overview and manage management accounts for the authority. So Ruth and I are stepping in to replace Malcolm, who was retired recently. I think Liz will say more about that in a minute about what we're planning to do as an authority to replace Malcolm's position. Okay. Nice to meet you all.
And just for my point, I work for Wendy, and I'm at the moment leading on taking the day-to-day issues that would have normally fell to Malcolm.
Thank you both. If I add to that, Paul, if that's okay. So
yes,
we're very pleased to welcome Ruth and Wendy to Forum today. As you rightly say, we were very sad to receive Malcolm's resignation very recently, and thank him, I know all of us here, for his tremendous work to the local authority over many years, providing great stability and support to all of our school colleagues here today. He will really be missed, I know, in this group, and we're very grateful for all of his work over many years. As far as the local authority position goes currently, it's pleasing Ruth and Wendy are here and sort of looking after us in this interim period while we establish firm plans in terms of Malcolm's replacement, which we will be in a position to discuss more precisely in the autumn term. But in the interim period, Ruth and Wendy, you're very welcome today. We're very pleased to have you here. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Liz, and I echo everybody's sentiments in terms of Malcolm, and I'll return to that point towards the end of the meeting. The annual review of schools forum, Clark, was there anything that you wish to say about the annual review at this stage?
Yeah, so I've just got a short introduction. So using the spring 2024 school census, the annual review of membership has been conducted for the forum to ensure the allocation of seats remains proportionate. As the findings suggest at paragraph 9 of the report, there's been a slight change to the number of seats for maintained primary schools, having 7 seats currently allocated, and the data now showing that this should be 6. The suggested recommendation is that the forum simply remove a seat from the maintained primary schools, decreasing the current membership of the forum to 25. The forum currently has a vacant seat for maintained primary schools, and after a drive to fill vacancies last year, it is evident that there is not the uptake to fill vacancies. There has also been a changes to the budget working group, as shown at paragraph 11 of the report. However, it's felt that the group provides an appropriate spread of membership to represent the various school types in Herefordshire. To adopt the changes would create vacancies that are likely to remain unfilled based on what I've just said about the uptake last year, whilst having to remove current members as well, who regularly attend and contribute to the working group. A number of schools are also converting to academies. They're in the pipeline, so therefore we recommended that the budget working group remains the same, with another review to be undertaken next year. So that's just a quick introduction, Chair, and happy to take any questions, but I think it's quite straightforward.
Thank you, Clark. Does anybody have any questions or any issues that they'd like to raise on either of those points? I'm looking for any hands. I can't see any at this time.
Not seeing any hands either, Chair.
Okay, thank you. In that case, Clark, could I ask you to bring up the voting screen, and we'll vote on the fact that the outcome of the annual review of proportionality has been noted. The allocation of seats for Herefordshire Schools Forum is reduced by 1 to 25 seats, 1 being removed from maintained primary schools, and that there are no changes recommended to budget working group with that review in 12 months' time. If I could ask you to place your votes, please. If you can't see a voting screen or unable to vote, please raise your hand.
Again, there's a couple of votes not cast there, Chair, but it's unanimous what the votes that we have to approve those recommendations. If you'd like to approve that and move on.
No, in that case, we'll approve those recommendations, Clark. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Which moves us on to item number 6, which is to approve the dates for meetings to be held in the work programme for the forum for 24-25 academic year. And the following dates were suggested: Friday the 18th of October, the second meeting on the 24th of January, the third on the 14th of March, and then it seems a long way off now, but it will come very quickly, I'm sure, the 11th of July 2025. Do members have any comments on the date suggested in the work programme for 24-25? And we can at this point note any new items, and they can be added to the work programme throughout the academic year. Does anybody have any comments or suggestions at this stage? In that case, I can't see any hands up, Clark, so could we bring up the voting screen, please, for approval of those dates in the work programme? Could I ask members please to cast your vote and press the submit button? If you can't see the voting screen or can't vote, please raise your hand.
Similar positions to the last couple of votes. We've got some overall approval from members, a couple of votes not cast there. I suspect it's just a poll not coming up issue. So if you're happy to just approve, Chair, and move on.
I am happy to approve those dates, or those for next year, which brings us very rapidly towards the end of the meeting this morning. But before we close the meeting, I'd like to say a huge thank you to Malcolm for all of his hard work and dedication to the forum and to the budget working group. I've chaired the budget working group now for more years than I care to think about. And Malcolm's input and his expertise and his support for me as chair and for colleagues on the working group has been remarkable, and he will be greatly missed. I'd also like to offer my thanks to Steve Kendrick and Christine Bryan, who've also left the forum. Steve will remain on the budget working group, and his input there will be greatly welcome and received. But a huge thank you to them for all the support that they've given to budget working group and to the forum. So thank you all for attending. I'll now call the meeting to a close. The next meeting being on the 18th of October, Clerk, can we stop the live stream, please? And could I have confirmation that the live stream has ended?